You're listening to WKCR FM New York, and this is Sun Ra Radioactivity. We'll be here presenting the music of Sun Ra, and we'll be featuring his interpretations of other composers' compositions and other jazz classics. And that's what will be going on for a while at KCR during the festival. My name is Ethan Singer, and I'm here with Mitch Goldman. And you just heard from a record called Taking a Chance on Chances. We heard two compositions by other composers, the first St. Louis Blues and the second What's New from Sun Ra and the Orchestra. I want to welcome you to this section of the broadcast, and also want to welcome Danny Thompson to the studio, baritone saxophonist in the orchestra.
Welcome, Danny Ray Thompson.
Oh, thank you.
And just made it up from the Sun Ra compound in Philadelphia.
In the city of brotherly love.
Yes. And we're really thrilled that you can help us to find our way through Sun Ra's vast collection of recorded music. And, I want to first ask you a little bit about how you got connected with the orchestra and with Sun Ra.
Well, that was, the first time I ever heard of Sun Ra, I was in Los Angeles, California. I must have been about 15, 14. And I was interested in music. I was playing in a band there, in school band. And my aunt took me to a record store to buy some records. And as we was leaving out, we saw this record in the window. And it was called Magic City. And this was the original Saturn Magic City, I believe. And she said, look at that record. So I looked at it. She said, you'll be playing with them one day. I said, really? She said, yeah. So I didn't pay any attention, and we got home, and she said, go back and get the record. So when, I ran back, down to the place, and the record was gone. And the lady said she didn't know what I was talking about or nothing. And that was my first introduction to Sun Ra.
And was your aunt known for prognostications? And
well, she liked jazz, and but I really don't think she knew Sun Ra. It was really a strange thing.
Did she often say things that she seemed to know without really having a way of knowing them? Or
yeah, she would do that sometimes, yes.
Now, from what we hear, that the unexplainable is often associated with Sun Ra. And,
true. True.
Looking back, that kind of fits in, I suppose.
Yes, it did. I'm originally from New York, and I moved back to New York, and I didn't have any idea who I was, what I was going to get into or anything. And I met a friend of mine. He's not on this planet anymore. His name is Sonny Morgan. And he was a conga drummer. And he told me about a bunch of crazy guys. He called them a bunch of crazy guys, and I should go hear them. So he said it was Sun Ra and his orchestra. But I didn't think about the record at that time, And I said, okay. And
this was around what year are we talking?
This was in 67, around 67, I think, somewhere around there. And I went down to hear him at Slugs. Well, I had kept saying I was going to hear him, and I never did get around. And finally, I went down there. I went down there one day.
Monday night, was it?
Yeah, it was Monday night at Slugs, and that was it. It was it for me. And I was following the band around for a long time after that. That's when Sun Ra lived at 48 East 3rd Street on the Lower East Side.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I came up and rehearsing there. I met John Gilmore. And I heard of John Gilmore before, but I hadn't met anybody else. And that was the first time I met Marshall Allen, mm-hmm. and Pat Patrick and Danny Davis and John Gilmore. And it was really wonderful.
What really hit you most the first time that you heard the band live?
I think it was overall. Well, first it was strange because Sun Ra was playing this upright piano, and it was all in the corner, And at that time he didn't have his organ, and I saw 5 drummers, 4 bass players, the saxophone, the strange costumes. But I had seen Sun Ra once before at a Coltrane concert at Olatunji's studio.
Up 125th Street?
Right. And I went up there, and I saw them in the corner. I had met Marshall and a couple of the guys through Olatunji. And I was really, I don't know, it was some kind of aura over there that fascinated me. I couldn't figure it out, and I was scared to say anything to anybody. But then when I started talking to people, in fact, when they came past me, they said hello, and I said, wow. So anyway, I came down to Slugs, and I was really shook up because I had never seen anything like this before. I'd seen a lot of big bands that was around New York and everything, and this was just something different, and I stayed there all night. And in those days, Sunrise, we'd play before I even got in the organization, we would perform. We'd get on the stage at 9, and the only break you got when Clifford Jarvis took his 30-minute solo on drums. I mean, it was from 9 to 3, 9 to 4, straight through. No stops, no nothing. It was funny. We had a trumpet player with us one time. Even when we moved to Philadelphia, we was still playing back at Slugs. And the trumpet player played 2 Monday nights with us. And he disappeared, right? So I was asking somebody, what happened. So the guy finally called me up and he said, well, man, you guys is the construction crew, man. I can't, we was driving from Philadelphia, played, all night.
Right.
Drive right back. And he said, I can't hang.
Well, is it ever, or was it ever a problem being up for it? Whether you were ready or not, here you're called upon to be. It's a lot of concentration playing that music for all that time.
Well, the music gives you energy, so it's always something exciting. That's not the problem. It never was a problem. That really kind of knocks everything else out. This energy is flowing around on the stage, and there's fire around up there.
Well, yeah, we've been very fortunate to hear some of that in this time, and it's got to be incredible to be on the bandstand with Sun Ra. And it's also, now you've told us how you became familiar with the orchestra, but it's a long way from being an avid fan to being a member of the
Well,
group.
I'm still a fan of the music. But I think what happened was I had a pretty hard time getting in, and I rehearsed with Sun Ra for about 3-4 months. Every day except for Monday night. They would play Monday night, and then some Monday nights after a while, I'd have to watch the house.
Was this was the whole band rehearsing, or you would?
No, the whole band, yeah. I was in there rehearsing, and I had to watch the house. And we rehearsed late, man. We rehearsed like sometime we started at 12 in the afternoon or 4 o'clock, and we'd rehearse on to maybe like midnight, and I'd have to, catch this late subway going back up to Harlem, and and back down every night, and then but I never, I couldn't get on the stage. I wasn't ready.
Paying some heavy dues, huh?
Yeah, it was kind of, and in a sense I'm glad, it happened for me like that, because it makes me more aware that, it's not as easy as it looks, And I've stayed on there. Let me see, we performed, and this went on for about 6 months, and then I finally got to play a couple of Monday nights, and then I started, performing, and it was, you might say I come up,
little by little.
Yeah, little by little.
When you, at that time, were you playing primarily alto or baritone?
I was playing alto, and Sunrise said he didn't need another alto player because he had about 5. Well, he had Marshall and Danny Davis, and Pat played alto and baritone.
And that must have been something to...
Oh, yeah, it was incredible. And he said I needed something different. So I got the money together. I did do a thing with Olatunji, and Olatunji was using Sun Ra's musicians from time to time when they weren't, when they weren't doing it, had a couple of days off or something, but he'd always ask Sun Ra all the time first. And I really appreciated being with Olatunji because it helped me out on a lot of different rhythms and stuff. And he was very nice to me. I was a wild little guy, man. And then we performed. Oh, I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. The music it really just engulfed me. It got to me.
Yeah. Was it intimidating to be, you're a very accomplished musician, but these guys that you were getting up on there on the bandstand with, especially with a saxophone section stacked like that, was it, what kind of feelings did you have in there?
Well, they was really very, very, especially John and Marshall and Pat, for the caliber of musicians they are. And they were very understanding, because, I even think about it. I said, wow, I'm just an amateur, man, and not really knowing what to do. And some guys will tell you, all kind of things. But then, no, boom, they helped me. Marshall used to help me all the time. He was really one of my teachers, And John helps you quite a bit, too. But now John won't say too much. He might tell you one or two things every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, very...
Yeah, but when he tells you, don't forget it.
Uh-huh.
Because he didn't tell you too much. But when he does, don't forget it, Well, I had got a bassoon. Back to the other question.
Yes. Oh, any way you want to take it?
I got a bassoon. I went out and to gig and I got me a bassoon. I bought a bassoon. I bought it was a French system. It wasn't the German system.
And now, had you played a double reed before, or was that?
No.
Wow.
Man, I was determined.
You'd have to be.
So you have to have determination. And anyway, I got this bassoon and I started playing bassoon in the band. And I had got another little different kind of little mouth. I used to play bassoon with French horn mouthpiece and a trumpet mouthpiece.
Huh. What kind of sound
whatever
did you
would
get
fit
with
on
that?
there, man. That was different. We have it on one of the records at Berlin.
The tape, you mean?
No, the Last Summer Live at Donaueschingen.
All right. Yeah, we'll have
Berlin
to get
Festival.
to that. I never knew where that came from.
It's on MPS, I think, MPS Saba. And I was playing bassoon for a good little while, and then after we moved to Philadelphia, I'm playing baritone,
Mm-hmm. We're speaking with Danny Ray Thompson. You're listening to WKCR FM New York. This is Sun Ra Radioactivity, and we're getting some very keen insights from one of the few people who could supply it. And Danny Ray Thompson, longtime anchor of the orchestra. Now, when you...
Well, the only thing,
yes.
if when you say that, I feel kind of ashamed or something because, Pat Patrick and Charles Davis, these are, the fellas, the baritone, these baritones.
Well,
and they, I think Pat he hasn't been playing his baritone for a long time, but and Pat also taught me, Pat and Charles, they tell me a lot. They I would say more or less they was more the anchor on the baritone, than me.
Well, that doesn't take anything away from that's true.
Well, thank you.
You're still, it doesn't subtract from your accomplishment on playing all the things that you've done with the orchestra. Well, let's talk about that a little bit. How did your role become defined with the group? I mean, with all that,
I used to drive Sun Ra.
Mm-hmm.
I had a driver's license.
So
and I like to drive. And I drove Sun Ra I was his driver for years.
And music?
I still am every once in a while. I'm busy with it, a lot of other things he has me to do, so a lot of times I don't.
And musically,
I can't do
it. Also your role on the bandstand, how did that sort out with all those baritone players, or more generally even when not just in the saxophone section, but also the lines that you play and working in with lower brass or with bass or...
Well, we used to have sometimes, bass players would be going in and out. That's why I play playing the bass now too a lot,
Mm-hmm.
And we had trouble with drummers some time, in and out. So John started playing the drums. And so sometime, a lot of times, somebody would give me the bass lines to play. And I always liked the bass though, And that's how, got like that.
Just for the continuity first and also...
Well, sometimes, yeah, you had to... And then if I had to play something else, I'd play something else, But a lot of times I have some bass lines. I kind of like them, I have fun with them.
Yeah, it's really.
But as far as the baritone players, Sunrise something else because he put you in the fire. One time I'll never forget. We played at the Fire, and he sat me in between Charles Davis and Pat Patrick for 2 weeks. Oh, man. Being between these are two masters, man,
Right.
And being in between these guys, man, it was... he was in the fire.
Yeah. Wow, that must have been... Who else was in the band at that time? I mean, to have
let me
that
see.
kind of thing happen.
Ahmed Abdul was in the band. We had a fellow named Iba, Marshall, Danny Davis, Elo Omo, James Jackson. Let me see. I forget, we had about 4 or 5 drummers.
So this would be about late 70s?
When the Five Spot closed, we used to play there a lot at the Five Spot before it, changed up.
Yeah, that's also a loss, of course, but there's still very happily places that the orchestra has heard in New York.
Oh, yeah, there's some very, very beautiful places. And we try to get on, have a good rapport with the, club owners and everything. And, Sun Ra will not work for anybody he doesn't really like. And you can probably imagine that, And, but like the people we work for, we perform with, we work with at the different clubs. For instance, Sweet Basil's. Everybody down there is beautiful. Mel Horst and Phyllis. And, I'm not trying to give a commercial or anything.
Well, no, but
them and at the Bottom Line, Alan Pepper and Stan. But Alan Pepper and Stan, we worked with them. They had years ago at I was discussing this with them. They had Jazz Interactions. You remember that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they had a place, the Dom, the East Village Inn. They was working over there. And Sun Ra was performing there for them for years. Out and around different, And then they were over at the Bottom Line. Even before it was the Bottom Line, it was the Red Garter. I remember they had a fire engine. The stage was a fire engine.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was wild, man, with these bells and stuff.
That was a great series that you guys did there in March.
It was nice. It was nice.
Yeah, that was really magnificent. And it was especially beautiful to hear the band working out. I think my favorite night was, pick among great ones, the Ellington and the Henderson. That was beautiful to hear the orchestra's touch on some of those pieces.
Yeah, Sun Ra has some. He tries to convey catch the feeling, and the spirit. And sometimes, quite a few times, you can really tell when you really did it, because you get this some type of tingling. I do, and you can feel, Duke Fletcher smiling. Yeah, fellas, hit it, fellas. You guys got it going that time.
Yeah, I mean, it's the melodies are beautiful by themselves, but I know when I hear the orchestra do it that they're really doing justice.
And Sun Ra, the musicians, those musicians was playing, and Jimmy Lunsford, all those bands was fabulous. And those guys they was playing something just incredible.
Now, how does Sun Ra impart that feeling to the members of the organization that maybe didn't have the opportunity of seeing those bands play live as he did?
Well, quite a few of us didn't, and we rehearse, he writes the compositions out, and he had to get into the soul of it, the feeling of it, and he imparts it out in some kind of way. He knows just just the right nuances, that you're supposed to play this certain number, and the feeling. And we rehearse quite a bit.
And the time, the swing, that particular rhythm that he gets, and the band really gets going. Is it possible to teach that, or is choosing the musicians? He has people that have that feel already. Do you have any sense for where that comes from? Because it's really unique to the music that you guys are playing.
Is it possible to teach it? I don't know if you could use that word. Is it possible to teach it? Because you could put some music down and somebody could read it, and it wouldn't be it, And then you can put it down, and you have a master that can convey it and know the feeling, and you can get it. Most of the time. But it's not easy music. No. Fletcher and Duke and Jimmy Lunsford and Cobb, that music is difficult.
Now, are those the charts that you're doing? Has Sun Ra worked those up, working from the melodies? Does he use the original charts that those band leaders used? What are the arrangements?
A lot of times Sun Ra writes the stuff off, and then he knows some things, about it anyway. And we try to play just like them, or even maybe more like Jimmy Lunsford or Fletcher or Duke would have wanted to hear it.
Right. Now, you've picked out a piece for us to hear from the new record. In fact,
yes. This is our new record.
It's not even new yet. It's the next record, right?
Yeah, it's before new now.
That's right.
And it says on the back of this record, the only copy in the country. But I know there's two.
Oh.
But you do have one of the only copies in the country, and which is true. It's very true. And we recorded this album last year in December in Milano for Black Saint Records, Signor Bolandrini, and very nice man too. And we were down at a nice studio.
Was this at the place they usually use, the Baragozzi, or?
I don't know. It was Jingle Machine. It's downstairs. It's like, way down. But they had very good studio there and good engineers. And we did it for 2 days, and Sun Ra and Pat Patrick and myself and Mr. Bolandrini, we mixed the record. And the next day, and it's not really out yet, but there's one tune on here that I'm crazy about. And I love the way Sun Ra sings it.
Can you tell us?
It's entitled "I Dream Too Much."
And what was happening that particular day in the studio? How was anything in particular that you remember or would want to tell us about, or of this particular performance of the piece? Or
in the studio,
yeah.
You were staying in your seat, so you didn't get cussed out.
Okay.
And you was trying to play the music so you wouldn't make no mistakes.
And is this he been playing this?
Sun Ra only does one take,
Oh, is that right?
That's right.
No overdubs, nothing like that.
Sun Ra does one take. Now we might remix it or something. Like, he's been known for one take.
So all these records.
Yeah, because a lot we use a studio here in New York, Variety Recording, Variety Arts, and one take. He's known for one take.
And now this piece in particular, has he been playing that for a long time, or did he just
Dream Too Much? Well, we've been doing it. He's been doing it for about 6 months. We have another one called Beautiful Love. I don't know which one I like the best, but I always had a good feeling for I Dream Too Much. And I like the way Sun Ra sings because this is a different timbre in his voice. This
is from the next Sun Ra Orchestra record, Reflections in Blue, I Dream Too Much.
Oh, that was beautiful. I think it was beautiful. Sun Ra really sings true romance. And there's a feeling there that unexplainable. And a lot of things are missing. Nowadays they have a lot of, sex songs out. They call P&D and other things. And I'm not talking about that type of music either. I'm never talking about no type of music. But they got away from this romance, and a lot of people are missing that.
Yeah, it's an entirely different thing. It really is. Now, this is a standard. It's by Jerome Kern, right?
Right.
But is it associated with any particular musician or player?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that. It's a very beautiful standard, and the words are they're very nice.
We've been getting floods of phone calls during this whole festival about music that we've been playing and how people can get it. And we've been telling them only that some of it we know is very hard to come by and some of it is less so, but most of it is not in print in this country. This record in particular that we've been just played, and we're going to play another cut from soon, Reflections in Blue, will be available here.
Nothing from Nothing?
Yes.
You're playing Nothing from Nothing?
From the album, Reflections in Blue.
Right.
But we also wanted to tell people about the address that they could write to.
For this one?
Well, in general, if you could tell people which records are available.
Well, for this one here, not trying to cut you off. No. For this one here, it'll be distributed by Polygram Special Imports. And it should be out around the 15th, I believe.
Yeah, the 18th, we were told.
The 18th, right. And it's on Black Saint.
Uh-huh.
For El Saturn Records.
Right.
Everybody whoever said that they've written and haven't got a reply, don't worry. You write to me, Danny Ray Thompson, El Saturn Records, Vernon Park Station, Office, Box 48121, Philadelphia 19144, Pennsylvania. And I will gladly return all messages and any help I can give you.
Now, which books, records, cassettes are currently available?
Well, right now we're revising our catalog. We're doing some revisions on our catalog, and we're trying to fill in some back orders. But at the moment, I definitely have Sun Ra live and Sun Ra a night in East Berlin.
That's cassette,
Sun Ra and
right?
his Cosmo Discipline Orchestra. That's another one of the names that you didn't get.
Oh, yes. Now, that's another thing we have to get
A Night
to
in East Berlin.
And that's a cassette.
Right, and it was recorded live in East Berlin on July, I think it was June or July of 1986.
And also that a lot of people have asked about.
Sun Ra has written some of his equations, and they're in the Immeasurable Equations. It's the name of it. And he has about 5 volumes. I have right now available the last one,
and that's at the same address. So anybody
that's L. Saturn's address. I'll repeat that for anybody who didn't hear it. L. Saturn Records, Office Box 4121. Philadelphia 19144, Vernon Park Station. Attention, Danny Ray Thompson.
There you go. So now you know who to talk to about getting anything that's currently available. That's the people to talk to.
We also have autograph copies. Autograph photos. Sun Ra,
Is there a fan club? Is there a newsletter? Anything like that? Or?
Well, we're thinking about starting a newsletter, and if any suggestions, anybody wants to start a fan club. They did have one time, but another fella had it called a Ra Legion.
Uh-huh.
Well, if anybody wants to start a fan club, it's okay with me.
Okay, and Sun Ra would...
Sun Ra fan club, he wouldn't mind.
No. Okay, so that's good people to talk to if you want to stay in touch with what's happening. And, of course, WKCR FM New York is going to be a source.
Spaces of Place fan club. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. All right. We're speaking with Danny Ray Thompson, saxophonist and organizer for the orchestra. And we're going to hear another standard performed by the orchestra from the upcoming album.
Well, this is, this was written by Pat Patrick.
Uh-huh.
And it's called Nothing from Nothing.
And anything you want to tell us about this piece?
Well, the name stands for itself, Nothing from Nothing.
Okay.
That was Nothing from Nothing on Sun Ra's new album. It's called Reflections in Blue.
Black Saint Records.
On Black Saint Records. And it'll be out in a few months and be available to you.
Now, I wanted to ask you about, since in this segment of the program, we wanted to talk about Sun Ra playing standards. It's been my impression as a listener that various times there'll be more interest in the standard. Sometimes the sets will be, a whole program will be featuring only Sun Ra's music. Sometimes more of the space stuff. Sometimes a different variety, and at times really very heavily other people's music. Sometimes stuff from the 30s or before. And I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what generally controls the direction on any given night. Is it the kind of room that's played, or the audience, or?
Sun Ra, we're like we're soldiers, and we get up there ready to go to battle, and we don't really know, and you have to really keep alert too, because we really don't know what he's going to do. Now, when we rehearse, and we have thousands of compositions that Sun Ra has written that are his own compositions that maybe the public might not ever hear. And I'm not saying that they're not fantastic compositions. It might be for maybe another time. And once in a while, he'll drop them on him, and we have Outer Space Night. If we have a particular night that we have featuring something or some artist, we'll feature that most of the time. And then some nights he'll have, or just a whole concert, and he keeps changing. And even if we do the same composition twice in a row, 2 nights in a row,
mm-hmm.
it'll be different. We'll have to use a different arrangement. Some compositions he has maybe 15 different arrangements on.
Really?
And I know his tune, L is the Sound of Joy, personally have 12 different arrangements and never know which one we're going to do.
Do you take the cue from the piano intro, or does he tell you before you hit?
Piano intro, no, he never tells before he hits. Piano intro, he just might say so-and-so, and boom. And then he'll hit off on the piano, or however it's supposed to start, and say kick it off. He might tell John to kick it off, and that's it.
And do you have any idea how the creative process is in his mind?
I really don't know. He goes by the moods of the city, the vibration of the city, what the people need to hear at that certain second, a microsecond, what he feels that they need to hear for their soul and their spirit. He always said, you have music for the body and you got music for everything, and nobody, and then food for your stomach, but you have no food for your soul. And you have to do that sometimes. So we never really know. His mood will change according to the city we're in, the time, what these people need to hear, and what he know will get to him, and there it goes. And sometimes he'll play something, and then he'll change off to something else, and now you have to be ready again to change right there quick. And it might just be about 30 seconds, 10 seconds, and boom, you're into another composition.
It's got to be literally really thrills and surprises all the time.
It keeps you on your toes because you never know which way it's like the birds flying out there. They start flying and, there might be a leader out there. You might not see him. But in Sunrise's case, he's clearly visible. And you see all the birds going one way and then they'll turn back and go another way. You never know.
It's always a thrill in the audience. And it also is always very evident that the band is tight and well rehearsed and of one mind. And that's very, very rare. And
we have what I call a marathon rehearsals. And sometimes it's like at that rehearsal, you never know when we're going to rehearse. Just like Saturday, I didn't think we was going to rehearse Saturday. And we started rehearsing around 5 o'clock in the evening, and we finished around midnight. And sometimes we start at 10 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, and if we're really getting ready for something. And we'll go all day. And Sunrise writes out all the music and the parts. He tailor makes parts for people.
And just nonstop.
And he'll tailor make a part for you, And really only you can play that part. Really. I mean, another person can, but it just won't sound like it was when you was there playing, when you was playing it yourself. So it's a tailor-made part. And it's nonstop. We might stop to eat or something, but I've seen some rehearsals that look like they went on forever.
Is it a problem? Do people get hot under the collar, or do they?
No, why?
I don't know. I mean,
the leader's there.
Yeah.
Or the coordinator's there. He's there. I mean, what are you gonna say?
That's
if you're out working with your boss and your boss is working and you get tired and stop and he's still working, what can you say? Now, if your boss is cooling out or something, then you might can say something. But what can you say? But it's we're there. We used to rehearsal, and you're getting yourself together. I've always liked bands as opposed to combos because, for me personally, because you have all these different musicians around you, and you have to play with more than one person, and it's this unity going on. And I really like bands too because we have a lot of people come in, very talented musicians. Vincent Chancey, for one, he was up here. And Roy Burroughs is playing with us now. He's performing with us now, trumpet player. He was with Duke. And all these people, Roy Burroughs, let me see. We've had Michael Ray. We've had Craig Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Trombone, right? We've had even Chico Freeman.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of
right.
Well, there's no doubt.
And you have a lot of the musicians, and Charles Davis and Pat, and I enjoy hearing these fellas. I mean, I actually enjoy hearing them. I get it. I'm like, it's almost like you're in the audience too. You have fun hearing these people, and you have to have fun. You have to have fun, and you have to swing.
That shows too, and even from the audience, very apparent that there's a lot of the music is so
with
serious,
a happy feeling. We have Buster Smith playing drums with us, and Tommy Hunter. He plays drums with us.
A lot of talent.
Right. And Tommy, we call him Bugs. Tommy and Bugs and Buster. Bugs has been with us Bugs was with Sun Ra way back in Chicago. And Buster Smith is a talented musician that's been playing for years, with a lot of musicians. And Sunrise reached and grabbed him, back, and he's back out there again. And June Tyson's been with us, and she's still with us. And, we're sort of family, like.
Sure. Yeah.
But I always have fun hearing the musicians come in and, play.
it shows. It absolutely shows that you guys really appreciate each other.
Because everybody is bringing in what they have to contribute, you know.
You're listening to Danny Ray Thompson, and this is Sun Ra Radioactivity on WKCR FM New York. My name is Mitch Goldman, here with Ethan Singer, and we are your hosts in this segment of Sun Ra Radioactivity. Ethan, did you have also some questions for Danny Ray Thompson? Or
I was just thinking about how you were saying that Sun Ra might do anything on the stage. What would Sun Ra do if someone wasn't able to follow his changes that time?
You really want to hear about that?
Has it happened?
I'm curious.
I'll tell you what happened. I'll give you an example. One time,
no names, but
we was in. I'll tell you the guy's name, man.
Okay.
One time we was in, because he really should have done it. We was in Paris, and we was playing at the Jubis Club, or Jubus Club. It's a private club in Paris. And we had a drummer with us. I don't know what's wrong with this guy, man. His name was Larry Bright. You know, he's a nice fella, too. I don't know what was wrong with him. And he was on stage, and he had some earphones on, and he got the radio on. And the only thing Sun Ra could find was Ahmed Abdullah's trumpet mute.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's the first thing he picked. If he could have found something else,
like a brick,
whatever, do it right upside the cat's head. And he deserved it too.
Oh, in front of the audience.
In front of the audience.
Oh my.
No, when you're up there, you know, you have to, you know, adhere to the rules and stuff. You know, we don't smoke or drink on stage, you know, and because I really don't think it looks good, you know, and I'm a cigarette smoker, but you know, not on stage. On stage, you know, when you're up on stage, you're up there. It's business. Mm-hmm. It's something different, you know. When you're up on stage, that's it. You know, you're there. And, you know, quite a amount of discipline, you know, Sun Ra, you know, you never know what he's going to do. But from time to time, you have a few guys, they do some things, and why they do it, I really don't know. But, if it's too bad, it's, you know, bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. So you
got to go.
Right. As much fun as everybody's having together, it's, there's no doubt what
if somebody does something too just totally out, man, because, you know, we have image, we're doing things, and, if it's too bad, bye.
Mm-hmm. Well, now
you get your ticket back, come see me, and bye.
Well, what does Sun Ra do if, conversely, what does Sun Ra do if he thinks you played something particularly good? Will Sun Ra tell you, you know, that he really liked something you did in a particular set?
Well, Sun Ra will enjoy after the performance. Well, the guys, you know, everybody's smiling and laughing on stage. Yeah. But after the performance, if he really enjoyed it, you know, everybody be happy backstage. You can tell. Mm-hmm. If it's something that he didn't like, you know, you hear about it too. Mm-hmm. And, you know, so you just better, you know, get it right. That's right. One take. That's it. That's all you get. You ain't get but one chance, man. Mm-hmm. You know.
So the studio albums aren't really much different than a live performance.
Oh,
then?
No. Because, you know, if you have a certain feeling, a lot of times we just let the tape roll, and you got this certain feeling. You know, why stop? And, you know, unless maybe like, you know, you might, the intro or something like that, just a little something particular maybe, but most of the time it's keep going.
Well,
and that also keeps you on your toes, you know, because the record is out here for years and years and years and years. And if you mess up, it's out there.
Yeah. No,
can't take it back.
On that note, what we'd like to do, for as much time as we can get you to stay, is help us to guest DJ, and you can pick out for us what you think are some favorite performances of Sun Ra with or without the orchestra performing standards. And I know that you've got a really...
Well, we have coming up, Elliot, right? One of our favorite, one of my favorite
compositions,
Tenderly. And it's featuring John Gilmore. And John Gilmore is one of my favorite saxophone players. Not because I stay with him every day and everything, but because he is. You know, and he's really getting the feeling of this Tenderly.
And this is from what record? When was this recorded?
This is from my album entitled My Favorite Things. It was recorded in Philadelphia at our studio in about 1970.
77, I think.
77 sounds good.
Okay, you're listening to Radioactivity, the music of Sun Ra, and the voice you've been hearing is that of Danny Ray Thompson, saxophonist with the orchestra, and my name's Mitch Goldman. Ethan Singer and I are your hosts, and this is Tenderly.
That was Sun Ra and his orchestra performing Tenderly, featuring John Gilmore on tenor saxophone and, of course, Sun Ra on piano, Sun Ra arrangement. This is Danny Ray Thompson, WKCR, your Sun Ra radio-activated station in New York City. Next we have coming up, Just Friends. That was Sun Ra. And his Omniverse Jet Set Jazz Orchestra. Featured John Gilmore that time, playing Just Friends. And I just want to say a little bit about this record. I particularly enjoyed this. We was trying to put something out, one time, and I suggested to Sun Ra, I really like this because I could feel John on his tenor playing, saying, well, hey, baby, love us no more, not like before, just like the words. And one thing Sun Ra has taught us that, you had to play the field. Coleman Hawkins, which is my favorite tenor player. And I never got a chance to really see him in person, except on some videos. And Coleman Hawkins always, he played the words. And that's very important, I believe. And when Sun Ra arranges standards, you really get the gist of different things. And we're doing a lot of things that a lot of people don't know that we do. Chloe, we have a nice arrangement on Chloe, What's New, Don't Blame Me, Deep Purple. And speaking of Deep Purple, we're getting ready to play a record right now on WKCR, your Sun Ra radio-activated station. This record was done approximately in the 50s, sometime in the 50s in Chicago. And it's Sun Ra and Stuff Smith. Stuff Smith, for those who don't know, was one of the most famous jazz violinists in my book on the planet. And him and Sun Ra got together, and this is a very beautiful record entitled Deep Purple with Sun Ra and Stuff Smith on violin.
Listening to WKCR, and this is the Sun Ra speaking, the Sun Ra speaking, Sun Ra, voice of the cosmos.
Well, the Sun Ra just said it all. WKCR, Sun Ra. We would like to play something for you next entitled Early Autumn, just to show you a little different, all the different styles that Sun Ra plays. And many people are not aware of this. And, we play, Sun Ra, I've always said Sun Ra plays jazz music from where it started to where it's going in outer space. And we do all type of things. We do ballroom dancing. We play weddings too.
No.
Did you know that?
No, really?
We played a wedding in a Quaker church, Quaker wedding one time in New York City.
Is that right?
We played a Spanish wedding. And we performed at a black wedding. Let me see, quite a few weddings.
Wow.
And we do all kinds of things, and a lot of people don't realize that. This next composition we're getting ready to play, this was done in Chicago. I think it's Clyde or either Ricky Murray on vocal. I'm not sure.
Ricky Murray, I believe.
Ricky Murray, right. And this is entitled Early Autumn, Sun Ra arrangement.
And what record is this from?
This is from But Not For Me, one of the Chicago recordings. And hopefully we can go right into Porgy and Bess.
Okay. And what year were these recordings
This
made?
was maybe the early 60s to 50s.
Okay. Early Autumn and Porgy and Bess.
Hey, you're listening to Sun Ra and his Astro Infinity Orchestra. And the first composition was entitled Early Autumn. And it was Ricky Murray on vocal, John Gilmore, Marshall Allen, Pat Patrick, Phil Coran, Robert Berry on drums. Let me see who else. I missed somebody. I know I did. Ronnie Boykins on bass, and it was titled Early Autumn. The last composition we just heard was a famous standard, Porgy and Bess, I Love You, Porgy. And you're listening to WKCR, the Sun Ra Marathon, going on 116 hours of Sun Ra, from the very wild to the wildest, to even wilder, straight out in outer space. Next composition we're getting ready to play is a recording that was done about 2 years ago, featuring June Tyson on vocal. And it's another standard, a Sun Ra arrangement of Sometimes I'm Happy.
Sometimes I'm Happy. And Sometimes I'm Happy, a very special feature, Miss June Tyson, who's been with the orchestra for quite a long time. This is the Sun Ra Radioactivity Festival, WKCR FM New York. My name is Mitch Goldman, here with Ethan Singer and our very special guest, Danny Ray Thompson. And how long has June Tyson been with the orchestra?
I think June Tyson got with Sun Ra approximately around the same time I got in.
About 20 years now, then. Right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean to put it that way, but...
Well,
no,
we don't go, in the space age, we don't have the age thing,
Oh, okay. So
we just landed down here and stuff,
I'll tell you, that's something that really bears mentioning is that Sun Ra and you and June and everybody in the orchestra is really youthful. I mean, regardless of years, plus or minus or whatever, I mean, there's a real exuberance and a spirit.
Hopefully we found a fountain of musical youth.
I think so. I think I've seen it in my very eyes. So, what we heard was, Danny, why don't you tell us what we just heard?
We just heard Sometimes I'm Happy, an album we did for I think the now defunct Y Records in England. And on the other side, we had Nuclear War. It was a 12-inch. That was a 12-inch there, a 12-inch 45. And, one side was Nuclear War, and the other side was what you just heard, Sometime I'm Happy. And they said Nuclear War was too heavy, for the people. But, I mean, man, they're saying everything out on these records nowadays, man. I heard some records that was ridiculous. I wouldn't have let my children listen to it, man.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that goes in this segment, but it needs to be heard, that piece by the orchestra, Nuclear War. Now, we've gotten a few phone calls that we should, a couple of specific questions that we could respond to on the air. First of all, Ethan and I read the compiled list of names that the orchestra has gone by. We missed a couple that Danny Ray Thompson pointed out to us, among them the Humanitarian Orchestra and the American Spirit Jazz Orchestra. Where do the names come from? How do they use?
Same way as the music.
Yeah.
Sun Ra, for every concert we do is a different feeling. So we convey that feeling, and we actually play that feeling there.
Yeah. It's true that seeing a listing of a different title of the Astro Solar Infinity Orchestra conveys something a little different.
Sun Ra had one called Transmolecularization Orchestra years ago in here when he played them in Harlem one time.
Wow.
But Sun Ra, a lot of people don't know, Sun Ra was in, when they had the Haru Act, when they had the Haru. I don't know if he was in New York.
I don't think I know that.
Maybe it was before you guys remember.
Yeah.
They had Haru, and Sun Ra was instrumental in helping start that, and his orchestra played out in the streets in Harlem, for years, it was this organization called Haru. I forget, it was Harlem. I forget the whole thing to it.
I understand.
I wasn't here at the time, but and they performed at the Black Theater for Imam Baraka, and we've done quite a few things.
Also in Philadelphia, I hear the orchestra has given a lot of free concerts and a lot of
we're giving quite a few free concerts to the for the people of Philadelphia. And actually, in fact, last year, we went to Philadelphia and the city of Florence, Italy, are sister cities.
Oh, yeah.
And the city of Philadelphia sent our organization and the Philadelphia choir. It was a 40-piece choir, gospel choir, and it was really singing. And we performed 3 concerts in Italy. It was about 4 days we was over there. One was at the very ancient chapel. They had Michelangelo paintings on the walls, and it was a beautiful place. Sound was horrible in that place, but it was beautiful though.
Yeah.
It wasn't made for that type,
Right.
for sound.
The choir must have sounded.
Yeah,
really
everybody
nice.
everybody sounded good. They really got us going too, because they was out there singing. The sound was like it was really a bad echo in the place, but we adjusted to it. You have to adjust to those certain things. And then we played at a theater the next night in another little town outside of Florence, and then we played in Bologna at a disco.
Really?
Yeah, we played disco, man.
What
Beautiful
was,
disco too.
what was the
We was
crowd like
jamming.
there? Yeah, it's happening. Wow. And
Let me say,
please.
we've been. I like to mention the fact that we have played in Cairo. We was in Cairo. We played in Egypt. And we first went in 1970, 71. We played for the Egyptian Ballet, and we played at the Balloon Theater there, one of their top theaters. And then we performed. The last two times we came back was like 83 and 84, and we had concerts. We performed every other night at a nightclub in Zamalek. Now this is for the Egyptian people and everybody else, all the tourists and everybody. Every other night for 3.5 months.
Really?
Both times, yes. And we played before the pyramids, for the Sphinx. So it's no joke when we say, we've been there and performed there. We was living there, had apartments and everything. It's beautiful there. Most beautiful place.
That's, I wish we could have been there with you.
But back on this side of, we also was in Mexico City in 1974, and we stayed there 3 months. And we performed at the Palacio de Bellas Artes, performed at Teatro Hidalgo. We was there 3 weeks. And it was, man, we had a stage that went round.
Oh, yeah.
And every time we come out, we start off the program, the stage would be going around. And it was
there
wow, yeah.
Special sense of connection for you or for Sun Ra in general, playing in places like Cairo where there's this great historic sense, or Florence too?
Hey, man, we almost couldn't get out of Cairo. They didn't want us to leave. I mean, they really didn't. We went out to the pyramids, and we'd be out there, even on our days off, we'd be there, and the people was... One guy, I'll tell you what happened. We went to a perfume shop one time, and this guy, elderly fellow, came out, and he told Sun Ra, he was showing us all these perfumes and stuff, and he said, "Yeah, Sun Ra, that's your name?" So the guy said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, you look like the Sphinx. You know what? I bet you the real McCoy." That's what he said. Oh, we had a beautiful time in Egypt. We performed for Festac in Nigeria in 1977. And, but now coming back to much recent things, what would be in New York City.
Yes.
If I can tell people something about that.
When will we have the opportunity to see the orchestra next?
Well, for right now, because we're going out to California, we'll be out on the West Coast, and we're going we're doing a tour out there, and then we're going to in May, first part of May, second part of May, we'll be in New Mexico and maybe Oklahoma, and we're going out to Texas, and then at the last of the month we'll be in Florida. We've never performed in Florida. With Tampa Bay, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami. And coming back up here, we're performing in Washington, D.C. for 4 days at the Tacoma Theater, and from this June 4th to the 7th. And in later on in the month of June, we start in New York City. We'll be performing from 3 to 5 on Saturday, June 20th at the Central Park Band Shell. Come celebrate the beginning of summer with Sun Ra.
Yes, that's the solstice.
That's right. And we'll be right there bringing the summer in for you. And just in case you can't get there, or you can come there, and then Sun Ra will be performing 1 hour solo piano. Lee Sun Ra will be performing.
Mm-hmm.
1 hour solo piano at Carnegie Recital Hall for part of the festival. Mm-hmm. That's on the 22nd of June. The next concert, we open up on June 30th at Sweet Basil's for 1 week. And, of course, we'll be back there in October for our regular Halloween. What is Sun Ra and Halloween and without New York City and Halloween?
You guys were even in the parade this year.
Oh, the parade. That's the second time we've been in there. It's fantastic.
That was great. Beautiful.
And it was beautiful. They had Sun Ra, Sweet Basil's organization had Sun Ra riding around in this beautiful carriage.
Yeah, that was. I was
and
there.
we was performing. Yeah, it was really wild, man. New York City got the greatest Halloween parades and all that stuff, man, ever.
Yeah. So that's terrific. So if you'll have your chance to see Sun Ra and the orchestra, summer solstice, 4th of July week, Halloween week, and hopefully many more after that too. But and also that at the Carnegie Recital Hall.
Right, so. and we're going to Poland and Czechoslovakia in October.
And that's in spite of what we've been hearing about goings on.
Oh, we was in Poland. We've been in East Germany, Leipzig, Berlin. We're going to Poland, Warsaw, Krakow, and then we're going to Gdansk. But what was and we're going there, and we was in Poland last year, first time there. So we're going back this time, I get back by Pablo Devan.
Yeah. Right. That's great. And we're bringing the message from the cosmos.
Yeah, we got to let everybody got to hear it, man. We're getting ready to go everywhere.
Absolutely.
Everybody has to hear it all over the planet.
I have a couple of other quick questions for you about things that you've mentioned, some off mic, and we can share with the audience. The address that we gave before, is it possible that there are videos available also of the...
we have a video coming out very soon. It's entitled Calling Planet Earth. And there's a fella in Boston named Bill Sebastian, has the instrument he plays. It's the, I forget the name of it. But it's a sound, it's a light machine. Yeah, I can't think of the name of it. It has all these different color possibilities, and he plays it with his, just like a keyboard. And we're featured on this video called Calling Planet Earth. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about, wow, this is wild. It was so wild that I took it up to the Dave Letterman show. They wanted, to hear something by Sun Ra. And they just said it was just too much for them, But I don't see why, I mean, I don't know, And, but that's what happened.
Speaking of which, now I remember myself watching the orchestra on Saturday Night Live a few years back. And were you part of the orchestra at that point?
I was there.
How did that come about, and how did you guys feel after doing a thing?
Oh, that was a good show. They play that so many times. John Belushi was on there too. They play that particular segment. They even have a video out, the best of